Hello, welcome to my live stream. Sorry, it was a bit of a slow start this morning. Again, it's not letting me tap into the TikTok chat. So it keeps saying log in, and I try and log in. And so maybe I should have updated my software. That's probably an update issue. But anyway, I'm here and I am ready for Palmistry Q&A. Today I want to talk about the subject of lack of lines on the palms. Some people have a lot of lines and some people have only a very few lines. So if you are one of those people with a lot of lines on your palm, that's called a full hand, as in full of lines. So the full hand, if you have one of those, you are more sensitive. You've got a little bit more nervousness, or you live on your nerves, and it means you're also aware of every little thing in your body. Any ailments or any problems, you are very aware of it, and your mind is very active as well. I'll bring up a bit of a thing so I can do some drawing. So someone with a lot of lines, their mind is busy. Now if you don't have a lot of lines, your mind can also be very busy, but it seems that those people with a lot of lines, they absorb that energy more rather than just the busyness just bouncing off. It's like absorbed. So the mind doesn't switch off, and they're kind of very vivid imagination, like the mind is visualizing things a lot as well. So that's someone with a lot of lines. So somebody who might only have a few lines will be the opposite of that. So what I mean by few lines, I'm just trying to get my pen so I can potentially draw on here, and we'll see if these lines line up today. So if I draw on this picture, I've got two screens going here. So I'm just going to adjust it a little bit. So excuse me while I adjust my screen settings. That should do it. Yeah, so those people who have just a few lines would basically have the headline, something like that, and they might have a heart line, something like that. They probably have a lifeline, and maybe a tiny bit of a line somewhere else. But that's about it. So someone with just a few lines is called an empty hand. Because an empty hand lacks all those little minor lines, those things that show sensitivity. So there's positive things about this and some negative. So I'll start with the positive things. The positive things of someone who has only a few lines is that they'll be down to earth, they're quite stable, they're hardworking, they're practical, but they're like traditional as well. They kind of like tradition, or they're stuck in their own tradition. They love their set of habits and rules and goals, that they stick to those same habits. And they kind of hardly ever veer away from that. So that means that they can focus on the job at hand. So that what makes them good workers is the fact that they can focus. They probably prefer to work outdoors. They're very outdoorsy type, and they have a natural affinity with nature. So they would love gardening and all of that kind of stuff as well. Hello, welcome Luna. You asked YouTube to give you notification, but I didn't. Yes, because we had issue today. Is that unusual? No, not unusual. We had an issue. I think Streamlabs needs updating and I haven't updated it because I went there to log in to my actual scheduled live. My scheduled live wouldn't let me go in there. I don't know why, wouldn't let me go into my scheduled live. So I was late starting as well because I was trying to figure out what the problem was. I couldn't figure it out. I think it just needs updating. So what happened, I had to click on the live button, which is not where I normally click. I normally click on the schedule, hit live from the schedule, but it wouldn't let me. So I had to click live on a regular live and it started it like a new live stream. So I'll have to go to YouTube and remove that one. It'll probably still be sitting there going upcoming, but it's not upcoming because this is it happening now. So I'll go in there after and delete it, but it seems every time we have tiny little things that go wrong, as well as TikTok's chat wouldn't open. I've got connect live to interact, and every time I click connect, it just won't let me connect. So anyway, I'm hoping that people are there at least and they're watching. If you are, welcome to say hi, don't be shy. So I've been talking about these lines. When someone has lots and lots of lines, it's called a full hand. Because it's full of lines, they call it a full hand, and it means there's lots going on. That person is sensitive, they live on their nerves, they have scattered energy, they're aware of every little change in their body. Their mind doesn't easily switch off. It's hard for them to sort of just chill, and that shows by all the activity on their hand. All the activity on their hand is all the activity in their mind. So they visualize things more vividly. They have dreams, nightmares, that they visualize a lot more than someone who has less lines. So it's more common in women to have a full hand of lines, full of lines. So, but the main subject is, what if you don't have full lines? What if you have what's called an empty hand? An empty hand is its lack of lines. So there's only like the main lines, like I've drawn here. You get the headline, the heart line, the lifeline, maybe a couple of other little lines, but that's it. So it's lacking lines. So that gives that down to earth, stable, outdoorsy. They can focus on their job. They're physically active. They're naturally drawn to the outdoors and to nature in general. So these are all positive qualities. They're persistent. They're effective at controlling their emotions. So if there are situations happening around them, they're not necessarily going to fall to pieces because they can sort of control their emotion. So they have that down to earth part about them. So there's a lot of positive qualities, but there's some negative ones as well. So some of the negative ones is a bit of selfishness, and what I mean by selfish is in a way that they're uncaring or uninterested in other people's troubles. So they lack that sensitivity, the sensitivity that people with more lines have. The people with no lines, they lack it. And so they're not very sensitive towards other people's feelings. They might say things that they don't realize is hurting the other people, if they're talking to someone is sensitive. And so basically what happens in their life, all the ups and downs, instead of making a mark on the hand, all the problems making a mark on your hand, that all the ups and downs and problems don't leave an impression. They don't leave an impression on their mind, and they don't leave an impression on the hand. So the lack of impressions, lack of lines, is their lack of caring about it. So that lack of sensitivity. So that's one of the negative qualities of the lacking of lines. We always look for redeeming qualities, say. What redeems those qualities is looking at the other lines and looking at the shape of the hand, more or less other personality features. One redeeming quality, let me give an example, would be the long sloping headline. So if the headline slopes a little bit more, that gives a bit more of the empathy. So they would be more empathic and more sensitive, more in tune to their nurturing side. But it is quite rare to have an empty hand that has such signs of empathy and nurturing. So, but there are other qualities. For instance, from the fingers, if the thumb is fairly small, then that gives a more quiet, sensitive nature. If the fingers are thin, then that gives a little bit more selfless kind of a nature. But when you see this empty hand, most of the time there are thick fingers, which represent more of a blunt personality. What you see is what you get. Often you get quite tough skin because they're outdoorsy, so they have the tough skin. So while their exterior is tough, also the interior, they're tough on the inside as well. So quite a hardy character. These people would probably, if they take risks, they would take risks like driving fast, jumping, parachute, jumping, whatever you call it, jumping out of the plane. But they would do these high risk sports or things like that as well, because they might see that as adventurous. But that also depends on the shape of the hand. So if that hand shape is more earth type, if it's got a square sort of a fat palm and with kind of a short finger, so if it's overall looks like a squarish chubby hand, then that is the more so the earth type. So they're not likely to be the ones that are doing the risky sports and things like that. But yeah, so the hand shape does affect all of those meanings as well. So hope that makes sense. And that was my discussion for this morning that I wanted to clear up. And if anyone joining us today, they're probably confused because of the situation that I had with the Streamlabs as usual, which I'm seriously considering if I'll continue using. I'm so happy with most of the features on it, but I just always have so many problems. So anyway, I hope that TikTok is enjoying my live streams, and I noticed I'm jumping up my subscribers or followers. What do they call them? Followers. My followers on TikTok are just going up by like 100 a day. It's crazy fast how people are interested in palmistry, and I'm so happy that they're tuning in because I want to reach out to more people to understand modern palmistry and real palmistry. I call it New Age palmistry. New Age has been around for a long time. New Age doesn't necessarily mean it's never been thought of. Definitely not. But New Age, to those people who are still following the old traditional palmistry that just focuses on predictions and, you know, saying outlandish, you know, things about the person or happenings. So I'm trying to steer away from all the craziness of fake palmistry and bring out the real hand analysis, real palmistry. And I'm continuing to use the word palmistry, even though the word palmistry is old. So that's why I'm calling it, it's New Age palmistry, it's practical palmistry, it's logical palmistry. Palmistry is hand analysis. It is looking at the lines and the hand shape and the fingerprints, looking at the whole picture to see what's going on the whole. Because you can't just take one line and, for instance, just that headline alone. No, the TikTok live stream comments, thanks for asking, Luna. The TikTok live stream comments are supposed to work. I have it in front of me. It says TikTok connect live to chat to interact with viewers. I am going live to TikTok, but for some reason this Streamlabs OBS is not letting me see it. It's not letting me connect. But when this happened this Tuesday, it happened the last week as well. So when I went back to TikTok to check, I had streamed live. I had 43 people viewing it. And then in my comments and messages, I end up getting people chatting to me afterwards. But for some reason, for the live, it wouldn't let me see the chat. So I'm not very impressed that how it just doesn't want to connect. But yeah, so apparently it's streaming fine and dandy, but just not through my OBS here. I mean, the chat is not visible in this OBS. So yeah, a little bit annoying. A little bit annoying that it wouldn't let me click on the scheduled live, where if I did that immediately it would send out all the all the notifications to people. So all of that went out the door, and here we are again, like Tuesday, lack of viewers. So if you are viewing, I can see there are viewers on YouTube, potentially Facebook too. Welcome to say hi, even just say hi. You don't have to ask a question, but if you do have a question, I'm here to answer your questions. If you have anything on your hand that you're confused about, or anything in general that you want to know. If you're just here to spy on me, I know you're there. Yeah, that's just me going silly. Yeah, RW, you are here. Hello, welcome. God. Yes. Hello, Abby. Abby RK, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Hello. Thank you for saying hi, and let me know where you are where you all viewing from. I'm in Australia, in Queensland, Brisbane, Queensland. Beautiful sunny day on this winter morning. A little bit cold outside, but that's all right. I got the windows shut today, and yeah, good stuff. So I totally forgot where I was, what I was talking about. So it was Abby. Okay. Nice name. So I completely forgot where I was. I think I was talking about the things that that change qualities of the things that can change qualities that not one sign. That's right. I was saying not one sign alone represents the whole picture. You can't just have for instance, a branch from the headline that might represent someone who enjoys business. It doesn't mean that they have a business. It doesn't mean that they are actually into any sort of a business, but it has a business-like mind. They think in a way of the way a business person would plan and structure their life. So that kind of gives that bit of meaning. But for any of that to be true, you'd have to have more than that one feature. You'd have to look at the main part, I suppose the shape of the hand. A water hand is more likely to be not a business person, so they're more likely to be in the arts, singing, dancing, acting, nursing, more the sensitive subjects. So someone with like a short pinky and a small thumb, they're probably not very business minded either. So you need, like, the qualities of a business type person would have more of a longer pinky. They might have a fire shaped hand, which is a bigger palm and shorter fingers, or they might have a square palm. Square palm gives that practical ability, more of an earth sort of a nature, down to earth nature, being square. But the fingers too, long fingers can help those that are, I suppose, more into the looking at the business from a long point of view. So working out the structure of the business in the long term. If you have short fingers, you might be working on the business on the here and now and don't care about long-term planning. You're just planning for tomorrow and sort of more of a quick thinking. So all the features have to be accounted for when we're looking at one sign alone. Then we compare it with the rest of the hand. RW says left hand shape is different from right hand and also some of the lines. Well, that's a bit unusual to have one left hand different shape. So you might have a square palm on the left and then a oblong palm on the right, maybe. So either way, when the lines or hand shape differs from the dominant to the non-dominant hand, that means that the personality on an inner level is different to the outer, or the person was a certain way and then they've matured and grown into something different. So they, on the inside, they might be more sensitive and quiet, like more introverted, but then they've grown out of that and they've become more extroverted, and it's kind of left that mark behind. So pretty often the left and right hands are different. Sometimes they're different size. You'll get like with me, my left hand index finger is longer than my right hand index finger. By I'm not talking about index, I meant middle finger. It's quite a big difference. When I put them together, I line up the lines of my fingers, and it's a good half a centimeter longer on my left hand, and I'm right-handed. But anyway, that doesn't matter. What else? RW says horizontal line starting from under the thumb from Venus to Moon. Oh, from under the thumb. So, what do you mean? Like horizontal is like that? You mean it goes all the way across? Oh, lower. Lower. I think you mean lower. Let me rub that out. Abby says, I have started to learn palmistry by just analyzing different palms and hearing from you. Yay! That's it. It's amazing how you just observe people, and I can't help it. Like I look at people's hands all the time. Even if I'm watching TV and there might be like a famous person on there, and as soon as they go like hello or something, I'll go, oh, what's on their hand? Oh, what's on their hand? So it's so interesting. Like just studying. I suppose it's studying people for my own knowledge. And yeah, that's how you learn. Just keep studying other people. So yes. So we're going back to this under the thumb. So I wonder, RW, if you meant a bit lower than that. I think you meant under the thumb as in really low. Is that even showing up on there? My photo's not lined up again. Something like that. Is that how low you mean? Okay, so low. Okay, so that has got many names for that line. It's can be called the escape line, is probably the nicest word for it. Escape line, I think Michael Jackson had this. So you can go, your escape is to go into your headspace, into your creative world. If you are creative and that's your escape when you're doing your creations, like whatever it is that you're doing, if you're escaping your reality by doing something else, you're escaping that reality. The other side of, like, there are many names for this. It's called the poison line. The poison line doesn't mean you have been poisoned, but it means that you potentially like to take poison. So other names for it is called the line of addiction. So that's similar to escaping, because if you do drugs, you are escaping from reality in a different way. So whether it's poison line or escape line or line of addiction, via lascivia is another name for them, and that is basically as a lascivious, someone who's a little bit Lothario, someone who likes to be with multiple people intimately. So you do mean from the middle, so not under the thumb. I'm getting confused with under the thumb. under the thumb or across the middle of the thumb. So if it's across the middle of the thumb, like I had drawn before, this is a more like it's like a tribal line. It's coming from the family connection, and if it crosses the lifeline, that can represent a particular time in your life. There is usually they only sort of go to the lifeline, not beyond it. But if they cross the line, that can be a little bit more sort of, I don't know, serious. I suppose it could be a stressful period during that point. So have to be careful of too much stress around that time. But if it's not one that crosses the lifeline, sometimes you get these lines and they just sort of come across and they stop there. So that represents someone who is very sort of connected to their family roots, the traditions, and their tribe sort of thing. So if they have a long history of, you know, certain traditions and certain connections, family connections, so it's a very strong connection to that history and to that group or community of people. Mostly family community, more so like a family tribe. But so is it kind of broken? If it's kind of broken, it's probably means that it's null and void. It has been voided. So say if let's do an analogy. Say if this line is electricity, can we change color or not? Okay, so say if this line is electricity. Electricity is running and it gives a meaning because it lands. So there is a meaning to this line. The electricity is running through. So the meaning is blah, blah, blah. But what if the line is broken? So let's say in sections, say if it's just been broken up. So that means that power, that electricity is no longer running through. So there's no power. There's been a power outage. It's not happening anymore. So it's basically null and void. It voids it, makes it mean nothing now. So if it meant something in the past, it means it doesn't mean anymore. So yeah, null and void. It's like some other lines, I call them deletion lines. Sometimes you get a line that crosses it and it's like yeah, no, don't want that one. Say if you're writing something, here's my to-do list, for instance. My to-do list, when I've done something, I cross it off. Cross it off. So I call these deletion lines. If they're crossed off, that's done. Don't worry about it. It's done, gone. You don't have to consider that anymore. So deletion lines. What else could on different parts of the lines, they're called obstacle lines. But yeah. It doesn't matter what you call them in general. That's what it is. So let's rub all that out. We can potentially start again with something. Hope all that makes sense. Ooh. Hopefully I'll fix this issue. I'll go and check for updates on my Streamlabs. I will continue to work on it until it's fixed, because I don't like these chat issues. It's the same as, I have so many issues with META, as in FACEBOOK, where they're deleting some of my content, saying that it goes against their rules. And I go, okay, understand which rule. They tell me the rule, but they won't tell me which post it was. Oh, we removed your post. Which one? I post constantly. Which one failed it? Which one failed their law? Oh no, we can't tell you which one it was because we removed it. But how am I supposed to not repeat that accidentally? Because I don't know what it was. So crazy. Sorry, that's my vent for the day. I didn't know I was going to vent today. Let's vent about META. Can't even say that word out loud, just in case. Oh, the robots are watching. Robots are ruling, and they are ruining people's smooth running of their business. Namely me. But anyway, yeah. Line diagonally stars. Line diagonally stars. So, the question is, what does it mean if a line goes diagonally and makes a star? Is that what you're saying? Diagonal lines obviously depends where they are. So a diagonal line, for instance, from the heart line up here to the middle, between the pinky and the ring finger. Some people call that the passion line. I kind of agree with that name because it represents someone potentially passionate about their business. So it goes towards the Mercury, which represents more the business. So someone who gets a lot of enjoyment from following their passion in life. So that's one diagonal line. Okay, so diagonal line starts from the headline and reaches to Southern Mount. Southern Mount. I wonder which is the Southern Mount. Like, starts from the headline and reaches to Southern Mount. So it goes downward like this. Or I don't know what you mean by Southern Mount. South on a palm would be down here for me. But a diagonal line from the moon mount, which is here, diagonal line from the moon to the headline is a career line. It's a Saturn line. It is the fate line. And when it comes from the ulnar edge, it's called the ulnar edge. When it comes from that side, it represents the public. So the person's career is likely in the public eye or has a lot of public input, or the career depends on public. So if it's for instance a doctor, that means that they rely on the patients, the public, to come and continue his career. It could be someone who's an actor or singer on TV, and they rely on the public to like their creativity, what they do. And so there's a lot of public involved in entertainment, and without the public you can't really thrive as an artist or creator. Oh, you meant Saturn, not Southern. Let's start again. That's all right, it gives me more stuff to talk about. We'll draw the heart line again. We'll draw the headline again. Draw the lifeline again. Okay, so you are asking about a diagonal line. Starts from headline and reaches the Saturn mount. Okay, so it goes up on a diagonal. That's all right. Hey, I know I'm terrible at typing too. I usually talk into it. I usually talk to my phone, say hello, blah 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 blah, and then it can't even understand me and it gets it wrong all the time. It's like whatever. Okay, so diagonal line from the headline to the Saturn mount. So depends on where it comes from. Is it coming from the radial side, the thumb side? Or is it coming more from the middle of the headline? Or is it coming from the ulnar side? Is it coming from this side, ulnar, radial, or middle? And no, that M doesn't mean anything. The M doesn't mean anything. So let's rub them out. So the diagonal line we're trying to decipher, does that come from the thumb side towards the Saturn mount, like this? Or does it come from towards the end, like that? So if it's the second one, if it comes from towards the end of the headline, that would still be a career line, would still be a fate line. It would just mean that that particular career starts at a later, like after age 35. So there's potentially other fate lines. So it's showing change around 35, or a start of a new career, a start of a career or hobby, or a start of a new life goal after the age of 35. If it's coming from the start of the headline, so this one here, if it's starting from the start, from the beginning, so from the beginning of the headline, that is more towards like a stress and worry. That is a worry line. So early in life, depending on the timing here, so it could be like age 10. If it's a bit further, it could be like age 15, 20 maybe. But early life, the closer it is to the edge of the hand, the younger. So if it starts right at the start, it could be from as young as like 5 or 7. So it is basically, sometimes it's called a trauma line, but stress or worry line is probably a little bit more toned down. So that line is for someone who maybe went through a period in their early years that was either a lot of responsibility. They may have had to look after their younger sister or younger brother. They might have had to look after their sick grandma, or their do the duties of the mum or dad, like to be responsible because maybe mum or dad wasn't around, so then they had to take on this responsibility because it's going towards Saturn. Saturn is all about responsibility and about the serious subjects and about obeying the law and being straight down the line and doing the right thing and just being serious. And so for a line to be connecting at such a young age, there needs to be something that caused more pressure on the young person, more stress. It could even be some one incident that caused trauma. Maybe they saw something happen and that traumatized them, and that sort of an incident has left a mark on the on the hand. So there's so many various meanings it can be. It just needs to be, I suppose, worked through the different situations that what it could mean. Now, can't get that confused with what's called the sympathy lines. So their sympathy lines a little bit higher, and they sometimes wrap around the underneath the index finger. They're called a Ring of Solomon as well, Ring of Solomon. And so that gives a very selfless nature, person who mostly does things for other people, not so much for themselves. They have a very low ego. They're not egotistical, so they're often quite spiritual beings, the Ring of Solomon. So yeah, so that the placement really does make a difference on that. Sorry, I couldn't finish drawing the Ring of Solomon. My pen, my thing for where I do the drawing has cut me off. But that the top circle that I've got there, that's meant to go around right up to the edge of the index finger. I'll see if I can move the picture around a little bit. See if I can bring it down and see if I can move my drawing thing. Move my drawing thing. See, I don't even have words. The drawing thing. What's it called? The drawing thing. So, yeah, that kind of lines it up a little bit better. So you might see what I mean. Anyway. So, I hope that's answered your questions regarding the diagonal lines. You mentioned something about stars. Diagonal stars. Stars, no matter where they are, I'll just bring that up. No matter where the star is, it's got a star is bright, a star is beautiful, a star is an explosion, basically. It's something that's awesome, that's great. When you become a star, you're a star. You know, the word star even represents somebody who's doing something great, something excellent happening. So you got to look at the star. Like, for instance, a star on the Mount of Apollo if it's a beautiful star, a nice star, that's illuminating that area. It's highlighting it, saying, look at this star, look at this person becoming famous and making, you know, something wonderful of their life. So that star there would represent potentially fame and fortune. But that's because it's a nice star. But if it's all trashed, then that's more like an explosion. So it's not illuminating, it's now destroying. So it's potentially, if there was a nice kind of a success line under there, that star has made an explosion over the top of it. So it's ruined it. So this nice success, potentially fame and success in excess, if it's in excess, it's ruined it. So there's too much going on. The fame is taken away. The fame might still be there, but it's going to be negative. It's going to have negative. The person might lose their reputation. They might become famous, but no reputation, that people started disliking them. So you can be famous because someone hates you. Like if the whole world hates you, you're famous because people hate you. But you can be famous because people love you. So, so that goes for anywhere. If that star is anywhere on the hand, you got to look at it. Is it nice? Does this star look nice there? And it makes that area illuminate. So if this is on a writer's hand, someone who writes poetry and writes books, on this mount of moon, this star would illuminate it, saying this person is very talented author. But if it's just trashed, it's like, yeah, no, that they've ruined their talent by doing this or doing that. They've ruined it. Something came into their life and it's just messed it up. Usually overworking, overdoing things, becoming greedy, or becoming just overwhelmingly obnoxious. I don't know. There's many reasons, of course. So hope that makes sense. I've got about 4 minutes left, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen and everybody else. We have 4 minutes left. If anyone has any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. No, you don't have to. You can always chat with me. My members, I have members chat on YouTube. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@palmreadings or /Saripuhaka or /Destiny Palmistry. You can find me under all of those names in YouTube. Hi, Jeannie. Coming in late, last minute. You'll be doing a replay, won't you? Yes, so, yeah, watch the replay. I've got a few minutes left, and but we've had lots of discussions. I've been talking non-stop. Got a dry mouth from lots of chatting, but thanks RW for finally joining and giving me lots of questions, and Abby as well, thank you for joining. Luna, as usual, my regulars coming in to listen or learn or just ask questions. It's great to be here once a week, and probably Tuesday. Yeah, might be doing it again Tuesday next week. We'll see. Tuesday or Wednesday. I will see how I go. I'm going away this weekend. So, but if you consider, if you're watching now, if you consider going to my YouTube channel and click on membership, or if you find the word join, there's the word join somewhere, or there's a link in my description of my channel. Join. You can join and become a member, and you can chat to me via the community, via the posts or community. I'm not sure if it's under posts or community, but I have chat in there. People can chat to me there. They can post pictures in there, etc. And so all my members get perks. If you have the higher the level, the more perks there are as well. For friendship, Facebook friendship requires a higher level of membership as well. So last question, thanks RW. You have a square next to the or at the bottom. A square next to or at the bottom. Okay. A square next to or at the bottom. Let's see if we can work this out. See if I can move my... I wonder what you mean. Next to... Yeah, it's nice to have you here too. So next to or at the bottom. So a square, I'm not sure. Do you mean on the Venus, on the lifeline, on the moon? I think it's lagging. Like when I talk, then it takes like 20 seconds before I see it, or vice versa. If you type something in, I think it lags. I think there's a delay, so it kind of messes it up. I'll look into those delays to see if I can shorten them so that it makes it easier to communicate. But squares, either way, squares are a good sign. Squares are protections. They protect. Square is like a house. So if you have a mark in that square somewhere, if there's a marks inside it, that square is protecting it. So it's kind of like housing it so it won't affect you. So a square on a line, if the line has a break, and that's like a fairly dangerous sign on the lifeline. But if it's surrounded by a square, that's like a band-aid over the top of it. It protects it. So look at squares as band-aids. So they cover an area that potentially has a weak spot, and it just gives it that bit of strength and a bit of protection. Strength and protection. So hope that makes sense. So it doesn't really matter where the square is. It has the same meaning. So okay, RW says you have 3 stars on your headline with squares at the bottom and next to it. Okay, so stars on the headline, if they're a nice clean star, I think we've had this discussion before, that can represent periods of brilliant idea, like a whoo, that's mental, something happened that was a brilliant idea, awesome. And on the worst case scenario, it can mean like complete loss of memory. You can be like, nah, I'm sorry, I'm so foggy, I can't remember a thing. So it can be the opposite, as in no brilliant idea. I can't think of anything. So it's like a mental block. So it can be more of a mental block, or it can be the opposite, which is like, ooh, illuminating the mind. The mind is illuminated. If it's too much, if it's a big messy explosion, it's more like, yeah, no thing. I missed your first question. What was your first question? Do I have to go back through the thread? Your first question, all the way. I answered the left hand different one. Horizontal line under the thumb. I answered that one. I'm not sure which question then. I've lost you completely. Please ask again. We're going into overtime now, which 4 minutes past. We're in overtime. I know it's lagging, but I will wait. Please ask again. I don't know what question. While I'm waiting, don't forget, check out my books, Destiny Palmistry books. Destiny Palmistry 1, 2, and 3. And I have one on the simian lines. All available from my website, www.destinypalmistry.com, and through Amazon. You can Google my name, punch in Sari Puhaka, SARI-PUHAKKA, and my name, all my books and everything will come up from Amazon. You can go check out my Author Central. And consider getting my books. If you want a cheaper version, go to my website and get the ebook, which is easy to order from my shop, my palmistry shop, and you can pay for it and download it immediately. And yeah, it saves a lot of money. But if you prefer a paper book, you'll have to get it through Amazon. So, how'd we go? RW, are you still there? I wish it was a live chat. Wish everyone could get on their microphones. You have experienced the gravity of it. Okay. We're talking about the star on your headline with squares at the bottom and next to it. So yeah, the square next to it would be, if it's on the headline, it's protecting that area. So for some reason, if it's underneath it, for some reason, yeah, it is. If it's just a full square, that is for some reason protecting that area and giving that strength and support. But if it's literally connected to other lines, if those are formed by other lines, then it may not have any relevance at all. It might just be one of those ladders with, you're climbing the ladder of success. You got the ladder, and that means that there's, obstacles that you have to work through before you can experience success. So it just gives, I suppose, in a way, stepping stones. So going through all the obstacles and using those ladder rods as stepping stones to climb that ladder to your purpose or whatever that you might be trying to get to. I answered. I send you the complete one. You already answered it. Thank you. Okay, good. I'm glad I already answered it. That's all right then. All good. That's all right. We've cleared that up, and then we can go. Oh well, I can go, and hopefully look forward to seeing you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, or Tuesday. We'll see how we go for Tuesday. Otherwise, it could be Wednesday or Thursday. Hey, just check out my live section on YouTube. I will always, when I have a upcoming live stream, if you go into the live, it'll have a thing in there saying upcoming. And so you can click on a thing to say, remind me, so you'll get a reminder if the system works properly, how it's supposed to. If it works how it's supposed to, yeah. This morning we had glitches, but we are all here now, so all good. Thanks so much for joining, and totally had fun, and we shall see you next time. Bye.